For further analysis of Peter Dutton's budget reply speech, let's bring in Sky News host Steve Price and commentator Jason Morrison. Welcome to you both. Jason, let's start with you. A debate here about energy. How do you think this is going to be received by Australians?
Well, Australians don't just want a debate, they want action, and they want action that is going to push down their prices. And I guess this is the drama at the moment, that the fellow running energy in Australia at the moment doesn't think that's a priority. He thinks there's Band-Aid solutions, which he today was almost humiliated by trying to sell it. And yet at the same time, the coalition, I think it's got a problem because, the front man might be into it, but there's a whole lot of snakes all riddled through the Liberal Party at the moment who actually don't agree with it and handbrakes on any progress on energy policy. I think that's a big problem, actually. And as much as Dutton's got some great ideas, can he carry the backbench, who really have been pretty good at kicking home goals for a long time?
Steve Price, what did you think of Dutton's response tonight? How do you think this frames the run-up to the next federal election?
Well, I think when you described it as more of an election speech and a budget speech in reply, you were spot on. And we're going to have now an election that's going to be fought on some central issues finally: migration, nuclear power and energy costs. And we're going to fight another election on climate change like we have for so many elections going back years and years and years now. But the Liberal Party, and I hope Jason's not right that the snakes come wriggling out from the background again, but the Liberal Party, the National Party, the Coalition have firmly laid out a difference to Labor and Anthony Albanese. We haven't had an election where there has been such stark differences for a long time.
Agreed.
I mean, you had Malcolm Turnbull running the joint, even Scott Morrison. They did not have I won't use the word I was going to, the courage perhaps, to be different. Dutton has those things, and he's going to show the Australian public that he's willing to do it.
Look, we saw today, front page of the Daily Telegraph, an accusation against Anthony Albanese that his tenant living in his investment property in Sydney's inner west was handed an eviction notice. Jason Morrison, a lot of people have come out today and said, oh, well, fair enough, if Albanese wants to sell his house, he can. What do you think?
I know why this is a story, because it's a great story, but I also kind of look at this and I think this fella is a damn whinger. You've been given 3 months to vacate. Not many people get 3 months to vacate, and not many people get rent as cheap as he's had it for as long as he's had it. He should be thankful that he had a landlord who was as tolerant to keep the rate as low as he did for as long as he did, and to give him that amount of flack. I had someone who's close to me who was given 3 weeks to get out of a place. And 3 weeks in this climate in a city like Sydney is impossible. I actually, we've just been talking about particular kinds of people. I think this fellow fits in the particular kind of people category. I think there's a real low thing for him to do because he's had a very good run for a very long time and he ought to be thankful.
Steve Price, more than anything though, doesn't it highlight that the Prime Minister has investment properties while people are, and the Courier Mail in Queensland has covered this really well, some people are seeing 800 properties just to rent them and they're unable to find a place?
Look, we have a rental crisis. I think Jason's been kind on that bloke calling him a whinger. I think he's a pain in the neck. He got his rent decreased from $800 a week to $600 during COVID, and the Prime Minister didn't put it up again after COVID was over. Now, the Prime Minister having rental properties, I don't have a problem with that. He's been in Parliament for a long time. He's earned a pretty good salary. His bloke's been through a marriage breakdown, but he's still got some investments. That's okay. He wants to change his private arrangements. He's probably going to buy a bigger house when he gets married to Jodie this year. But this bloke has really annoyed me today. As Jason said, he's lucky he's got a roof over his head. We had a rental inspection for a vacant apartment in the block I live in Melbourne occasionally, and there was 100 people queued up out the front.
Yeah,
so the bloke should
impossible.
thank his lucky stars that he's had somewhere to live.